Recently, your cousin, family member, Antoine Kennedy, stated that his 1996 team that went 5-5, he feels that because the strength of schedule, that the record don't reflect their true talent. He felt like his team is the best team in Central history. How did that make you feel, and kind of reflect on that statement?
I love to debate with people, but I'm not going to sit up here and say um, talk down on any team because I'm true blood Carton all the way to the bone, and I want every team to succeed. Um, that team that year, I can really say had a talent level, had one of the best talent levels that I've seen, and I've been around East Chicago for a long time. Um, and that year, '98, those guys had some of the best athletes I've seen on every position, from quarterback to receivers, especially guys, especially the receivers, running backs, all those guys. Um, I believe that was one of the biggest D1 classes that came through East Chicago Central. Um, but the reason I say that will put us over the top is the front seven, the line. Um, our line, um, I think, and I say this graciously and humbly, that we were the best offensive line to ever come through Central. I don't think if you put 8 people in the box, that didn't scare us. If you win a 6-man front, that didn't scare us. We faced that before. Um, it was through our hard work, our dedication, and the coaching of Coach Hardeman, Coach Egowski, Coach Richards, that our offensive line was so successful. And we would practice against 8-man fronts. In practice we would actually throw extra guys in there, and we would block it because we were not based on just strength. We were technique. We used great technique. And that's what I coach today, and I tell my kids all the time. You can be big, you can be strong, you can be fast, but you got to have some technique. And I believe because of the technique, that we were so technique out, and plus we were strong and big. Um, I think that would took us over the top. Um, our team was built for the run. Um, we weren't a great passing team, but we were great versus the pass. And that 1998 team had a great passing attack. They had 4 receivers that I can say those guys right now still hold records, I believe. And
97.
Yeah,
Okay.
1997 team still hold records. And but the way our defense was built, we had, I want to say, the second best corner in the history of Chicago, and Vincent Clark. I believe we put him on the island on one of their best receivers, and then we go for that. You know, we run a cover 2-man or a man-free defense, and we put him out on the island on that best receiver, and then we zone the other guys, and then we just send the whole house. And we got guys like Martell Franz, who was a star running back, who led the state in rushing, and was first or second, I believe, on the team in sacks. He's playing outside back in the 3-4. Then we had Angel Vega, 6 feet, 225. Guy ran like 4.6 40. He ran track too. He's coming off the edge. Then you got Division I Tom Nikowski at nose. You got Division I Connor Rossford at defensive end. You got Division I Ted Compton, who went to Valparaiso, at one of the middle linebackers. And then of course you have Royce Love, the beast. Division I went to Vanderbilt. In the secondary you got Royce Roberson at the free safety, Division I Wisconsin. And then you had Dane McGlenn, still holds records at the strong safety, who ran legitimate 4.5 4.4. I mean, you know, that to me was just that put the icing on the cake. We had a weak link in our secondary, but he was a great hitter. But that's why we run zone to his side. and I love the guy. But
Who? Who's that guy?
Deron Crum. I love the guy. You know, a lot of guys talk about him. You know, they say his number was cursed, but I love that guy. He was a hell of a hitter. But
What number was
his
he?
coverage, number 23. As far as as far as hitting, he was great. Coverage, he wasn't that good, but the guy was dedicated. He was a football player, I can tell you that. And but I do believe the other key parts of our defense, you know, give us that advantage. And then, like I said, to go to the offensive side of the ball, our running game just was. I mean, it was second to none.
I mean, I want to give you some pointers though. That the 97 team had 3 running backs, over 600 yards rushing, 5 receivers, over 20 catches. So you're saying that because you're front 7, you'd have been able to.
Yeah, our front 7, offensive and defense. Our offensive line, our defense line, our linebackers, I think, would have been the key to victory versus those guys. They, like I said, those guys more athletic than us, but we were real football players. We didn't have guys playing 2 sports. Everybody on our team was straight football. I know those guys had a couple guys too that were straight football players. But I believe because we came from that generation of we played street football. And to get pads on when we get to high school was a plus. We came up in the time where we were hitting with no pads. Street football. You know, I can remember days I got 2 knocked out, you know, playing street football coming up. So I think that's, you know, I tell people all the time that that's something that's missing in this area. Is that, and that really helped us out.